From my room next to my bathroom in my basement, this is My Worst Holiday, a podcast about your worst wedding, funeral, bachelor party, bachelorette party, or whatever story is funny after the fucking fact. We want to hear it. And today, for the third time on the My Worst Holiday show, we have Mr. Jesse Schwarber. Jesse, say hello, brother.
This is our third time. You've
Our
never
third
got my last name right. Not one time. It keeps
Schwarber.
getting. You just said Schwarber. Again, we had
Well, I
this
said
discussion
Schwarber.
last time, like Kyle Schwarber. We had a whole thing with you and your previous co-host.
I said Schwarber.
It's Schober.
Schober. All
You're
right.
from Wisconsin. There's 100,000 German people in Wisconsin. You got to know Schober.
I'm actually from Illinois. I just got to follow Wisconsin.
Well, it's the same thing. Whatever. Midwest where no one lives. They all leave. That's why everybody you meet in Florida is like, oh, I'm from the Midwest. Why aren't you there? Because it's the fucking Midwest. That's why I'm in
Because it's
Florida.
the fucking Midwest. It sucks.
Yeah.
It's the fucking Midwest.
Yeah, everybody's like, we're from Florida. We have oranges and beaches. We're from Georgia. We've got the peaches and we got football. We're from Indiana. We're moving.
I'd go more West Coast right now, I think.
So we're on. What are we on now? This is my third time. The first time you don't have a host. Okay, this is the first time I don't think I've recorded in my car. Because last 2 times I recorded my car. One time there was like a hurricane on the way or something. There's always a hurricane on the way. But also now we're on Mosaic TV. That sounds like you made that up, by the way.
I didn't. In fact, if you have an Amazon Fire Stick, if you have an Amazon TV, if you have a Roku device, if you have an Android device, download Mosaic TV. There you go. How's that for a plug?
And you said, so here's the only thing I know about Kentucky besides the opiates.
The opiates. That's my favorite part of it.
Yeah. So is they have a drink called LA1. Okay, it's a ginger ale that you used to only be able to get there, and now you can get it at Cracker Barrel because it's that white. But for some reason, my wife loves that damn ginger ale. So hopefully I'll get so famous in Kentucky, people will just start sending me LA1 so I can keep my wife happy.
You hear that, everybody? I'll get your address before. In fact, I'll get your address, your phone number, and everything before we get off here, so they can send you. They can send you basically anything they want to. Jesse really likes lube. He's a big lube fan. He is.
I compliment their soda, their native born soda. And that's what you come in with. All right. So it's been a while since I can't even remember what year I touched. I mean, I didn't know you were still doing the show, and I guess that you've run out of guests. So you brought me out for the third time.
Well,
I know this regional comedian down in Florida somewhere. Let's just throw him on here. I think that's what happened.
Well, I'm uber happy to see that you're still following me.
Well, I'm following your
another
personal page.
Fans,
For the show.
What's that?
I feel like we're friends with our personal Facebook pages, but I don't think I have the show. I looked, I didn't see new stuff on there.
No, sometimes, once in a while. I do it. I've been kind of on a hiatus for a little bit, but now I'm back. I'm starting to get guests back on and everything. But I just kind of taken like a summer off, basically.
Okay.
Yeah, I did a couple shows through the summer, but not too much. But now I'm getting guests again, getting back into the rhythm of things.
And on some kind of pirate TV or something.
Yeah, well, Mosaic TV. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. If you have a Roku device, I did the whole thing. It's.
What the hell's a Roku?
A Roku. I think some people call it a Roku. It depends on where you are geographically. Some call it
Roku when you can't afford a Fire Stick. Is that what that is?
It's kind of like a Fire Stick, but it's like one of the first ones that came out, and then Amazon got a better one, so that everybody just kind of forgot about Roku. They have Roku TVs too, or what's his fucking name? The pillow guy. What's the Roku? We're on the Roku. We're on the Roku. Do we have the Roku thing? He does that.
I don't know what you're talking about anymore.
Mike Lindell.
How many different drinks are you drinking?
2.
Okay. Got to be a certain level of hammer to do this show, huh?
I got basically water, and then I got whiskey. So it's
So is that beer before liquor or liquor before beer?
Exactly.
Nuts. So all right, I haven't been on this show in a long time. So if I remember correctly, the premise is we tell stories, and mine have always just been embarrassing. That's why I've come on here twice to just embarrass
That's
myself.
that's what they're supposed to be. Yeah.
I
In
think
fact,
we even had like one of my co-hosts on once too to tell his embarrassing stories. I think you had Jason from Field of Streams on, or
oh
maybe
yeah, I
yeah,
believe I
right?
did. Yeah,
Yeah, I
from
think
Field
you
of
had one of my
Streams.
co-hosts on.
Yeah, yeah, it was a long. Yeah, that was a while back.
Yeah, that
So
podcast hasn't existed since the pandemic because,
yeah,
well, not really the pandemic. One of our co-hosts he was the wild card, and by wild card I mean, you know, he had phone numbers of hookers in his phone while we were recording,
okay.
and there were like he was the psychopath, and he just disappeared. Like we just didn't hear from him anymore. And then like 6 weeks or three months later, he just texts us, "Sorry about that. Next time I see you in person, I'll tell you what happened." We're like, "What?" He's like a John
Sorry
Grisham
about
novel.
that. It's
Yeah,
not like you got a wrong number. It's not like
no.
he threw the ball over your head. He fucking ghosted you for 6 months or for three
Like
months.
months, and like we're in the same town, like we're in Tallahassee, and we were all in the same comedy scene, and we were recording once a week, and a show that was, I mean, relatively popular with thousands of listeners every month. It was really pretty good, and then it just stopped responding to text messages. So we don't know what happened. I assumed he was either in jail or in Cuba under arrest by Castro or something. I'm not sure what happened. Um, so I'm not even doing that podcast anymore. And then I in between that time, I did
That'd be
another
Marco.
podcast.
That'd be Marco Castro.
One of them, yeah,
I wonder
like
if they play that
kind of
game
like.
and they go like Marco Castro. I wonder if they play it like that in Cuba.
Well, I think it's like Juan Canseco, or whatever Jose's brother's name is. He just shows up to pictures for him. It's probably like that. So I'm not even doing podcasting right now. I'm just doing stand up. But I guess the story I should start with, because I haven't seen you or talked to you in a long time, was so last March of 2023, I was activated to active duty in the Air Force. I've been in the reserves for 13 years.
Oh
Uh,
wow!
I got activated.
Thank you for your service.
Well, let me finish first.
Okay. Maybe I won't thank you after the story.
No, it's nothing like that. But I was on active duty for about a month, and I was involved in a pretty horrific car accident, and I broke all the bones in my right leg. I mean, literally all the bones in my right leg.
Jesus.
And I had a traumatic brain injury. I was in the hospital for well over a month. I was in a wheelchair for almost like 6 months or something like that. Yeah. So this is all in the last year. So I just retired from the Air Force last month because of my injuries. So
this is when you were active when this happened?
Yeah. So I'd been a reservist basically my whole career, except every once in a while I get called up for a tour. So I got activated. I'm active duty Air Force. I get in a car accident that leaves me permanently disabled. I'm 90% disabled. So now I get benefits for the rest of my life. So
can you still golf?
That was the play. That was my long-term con here. So paycheck for the rest
I'm
of
so
my life.
happy for you right now.
I can golf a little bit. Yeah.
It's everything I've ever wanted, Jesse. God damn it! It's everything I've ever wanted.
Like, it's the most American everything. I'm doing my patriotic service and then get a free ride. Like, it's perfect. But so the story I think that we should start with is how the accident happened. So I don't, and I do this it's a little bit of a bit I do on stage, but it's kind of true. I don't have any memory of the accident because of my brain injury.
Right.
But allegedly, what caused the accident was I was eating a Kit Kat, and I dropped it. I bent down to pick it up, and I woke up in the hospital. Is that not the fattest shit you've ever heard? Like, I thought if a Kit Kat was going to kill me, it'd be like collectively, like it would take a while. But it was
got
almost
a piece of something
instantaneous.
broke off in them.
So And like I said, I don't have any memory of it. The only memory I have of like the first week is like actually hallucination, I think. Because so at the scene, they gave me a combination of ketamine and fentanyl. Okay.
Mm.
So that's a horse tranquilizer and a drug that conquered the South.
Mm-hmm.
So they so my hallucination was that I was in the ambulance and they were playing the game Operation on me.
Oh God.
Right. But I was high in the hallucination too, so I'm like buzz, buzz, buzz. Whatever.
So they're working on you, and you're going buzz.
Yeah,
Buzz.
probably. That's probably what happened. I mean, I'm sure that if you could find the nurses, they would have a great. Because I know that a few years ago, I had an appendix burst, and I went and I was doped up pretty bad, and for that, and I remember they were like, "Hey, did you wash your hands?" And I was like, "No, I didn't touch my turtle." And I'm arguing with the doctor that I don't have to wash my hands because I didn't touch my turtle.
You didn't touch your
So
turtle, yeah.
yeah,
Duh.
if I said that for
I done told you I didn't touch my turtle, dumbass.
Yeah.
Are you listening?
The other time I had been general anesthesia, apparently I hit on my doctor, who was a man. Apparently a very pretty Indian man who I said was
A very
beautiful.
good-looking man. Okay, all right,
Apparently
I get
he was
it.
really good looking, according to my wife and mother, who agreed with my assessment. Apparently he walked in. I was like, "Wow, you are beautiful. Like your whole staff. Like I feel like I'm in a porno right now or something." I said, I can't do drugs.
You're pretty.
Yeah, I can't. You know, I was in the hospital. Like I said, I was in the hospital for 34 days, and I think that the staff, we got to know each other pretty well. But I'm pretty sure they were confused. Because my wife was there a lot, but I'm pretty sure they thought I was gay because you can only watch a rotation of Gilmore Girls and Pretty Woman so many times before people start asking questions. You know?
Yeah, I get that. Yeah.
And at the time, I was really into Vanderpump Rules, so I think that probably.
God, you might be gay, Jesse. I'm not.
You know, maybe. You know,
that's true. I'm a little disappointed that I didn't even get hit on once. So
I tried that at a gay bar one time. I tried to go get hit on, and I just screamed straight so much, like they were like, "Nope, we know." It was insulting. Like I was insulted. I was insulted. I didn't even get a free drink or nothing. It was kind of. I had a great time until I tried to go to the bathroom and there were no doors on the bathrooms, and that freaked me out and I left. But the music was great, and and so down in Tampa. Yeah. Well, no, it was more Cher. Like so down in Tampa, they had this. In Tampa, they have this restaurant called Hamburger Mary's. Have you ever heard of this? Hamburger Mary's is a hamburger restaurant, but they have drag shows while you're eating.
Well, I when they said Mary, I kind of tied that together because
not only great food, great entertainment, just absolute, just skilled performers. One of my, I went down there a couple years ago to watch the Yankees Rays when Judge was a rookie, and I think Judge hit a home run in that game, and I think Hamburger Mary's was the highlight. So maybe there is something going there. I don't know.
Maybe. I don't. Every time I think about Cher, I think about that song. It's like I wish like if I could turn back time, you know, I'd take back all the bad things that I did and said to you and shit like that. And I'm sitting there thinking like, why did you do all the bad shit to him?
But can we talk about that music video? She's wearing like lingerie on a battleship.
Yeah, and her boyfriend was like 16 or something. He was the guitarist.
Well, I didn't know about that part, but I mean,
you know why she treated him bad? Well, because he didn't finish his plate. I think that was probably, like.
Let's go back to the worst story. Yeah, so I think the worst part, like when you don't, if you haven't been around someone who's been very crippled like I was, or in a bad accident, you don't know a lot about how weird it is. Like the thing I was not prepared for was, as a grown man, people wiping my ass. I was not ready for that. I just didn't eat. I was like, I'm not shitting. You can't make me shit. You're not calling that pretty nurse in here to her why I asked again. I'm not doing it. Like I just won't eat. I just won't eat. And like my family's like, you have to
the
eat,
hot
or
ass
they're
nurse
not going to let
coming
you
in to
out of
wipe
here.
your boom booms. It's like,
and like my wife is in the corner, and my mom is here, and my aunt, my whole family's around. Like I'm like, y'all need to fucking go. Like I just like this. I need everyone out of here. Like just get out of here. And then like so after a while, they had this.
I'm about to Howard Hughes this motherfucker. So everybody
they
out.
just had one guy. One guy had the job, and he was an army dude. And I'm like, I kind of felt okay with him doing it, I guess. I don't know, add that to the list. But like it was weird. It was weird for me if it was like a young girl. Like I was just like, you shouldn't have to see this. You still have a lot of life ahead of you. Like I guess for the army guy,
wrong. I don't want
the
you
army
to have
guy's already dead
nightmares.
inside. Yeah, so that was rough for me. And then like the sponge baths, it was not being able to do your own thing at all for like I was like I said, I was in a wheelchair for a long time, and I would have to get help to get in the shower, to get on the toilet and stuff like that. And when you're 30, I was 32 at the time, so 32 years old. You're active duty Air Force. You're like I'm not tough because I'm in the Air Force. I didn't choose the Air Force for a reason. But
for a reason. Yeah.
Right.
There's
like
a reason
I don't
you're
sleep
not
outside.
Right.
Yeah. No. Fuck that.
Fuck that.
Right. So, but still, there's an emasculating part of it that I was not prepared for. And I was, so the other thing, I mean, just it was a weird time, and I think that until you've gone through that, the other thing I wasn't ready for was when I got out of the hospital and I'm in my wheelchair going places. How places are not really really handicap accessible. So you can't fit your wheelchair down a hallway, or you could the bathrooms were too small at Cracker Barrel. I've seen the people that go to Cracker Barrel. You gotta widen that shit. You need big aisles. I shouldn't have to I couldn't turn my wheelchair around in their bathroom. I know I'm not the only person in a wheelchair in the fucking Cracker Barrel.
Yes. I'll have to tell you my Cracker Barrel story sometime. But it's Cracker Barrel is definitely there's some girthy folk that go in there. They in their shop they actually sell real pre-World War II chocolate.
What does that even mean?
They changed the recipe to Hershey's changed the recipe of chocolate after World War II.
So it still had cocaine in it.
Not cocaine, but it's a different flavor, but it is very good, and they sell it there.
They also sell L81s. Shout out to L81. So I think that was that was the weird part. The other part was everybody else had to go back to work, right? Everybody has to go back to their lives, and you're just sitting all day.
Now you're in a wheelchair.
So I've seen every episode of Law and Order SVU. So I don't even think I have seen more episodes than Dick Wolf has. I guarantee it. Dick Wolf hasn't seen a Law and Order episode in 25 years. He doesn't even know that Stabler and Olivia Benson broke up, but they did. And then they tried to get together.
I never did get into this show, so I have no. I
didn't intend to, man.
Nor the Gilmore Girls, and
look,
what is it? Below Decks? Is that what he was talking about? Or what the hell?
It's funny you mentioned that. I actually mentioned Vanderpump Rules, but I have seen every episode Below Deck. So
okay. What the fuck? Why are you watching reality TV?
Because there's nothing else on.
I almost considered you one of my heroes for a while. Now you're a fucking reality TV fan? Fuck!
Look, if you name a show,
here, Jesse. I thought we were here, buddy.
It's not just reality TV. It's all of TV. If you name a show, I've fucking seen it. All right.
You had a lot of time on your
hands. 6 months.
I go back and I binge all of Family Guy, and then I'll binge all of I don't know,
Sex in the City.
Dad, yeah. The Simpsons.
I tend to. I mean, what's my current rewatch right now? I was watching Golden Girls a little bit earlier, but
I've got no problem with that.
No,
Paul Jung Wit.
House
Paul
of Cards.
Jung Wit is a fucking genius. That show still to this day has legs. That show still makes me laugh out loud.
But no, I'm flipping back and forth between the Vince McMahon documentary and House of Cards. So I'm on a darker thing right now.
House of Cards, I got a little bit into, and then I closed. Modern Family. Fuck.
You're just a cartoon guy, man.
No, Modern Family. That was a live action
I'm thinking
sitcom.
American Dad for some reason.
Yeah, no, I did. I did American. Yeah, I do like cartoons. I'm doing Cleveland Brown right now.
My family, we like Bob's Burgers. We watch Bob's Burgers a lot.
Bob's Burgers. Did all those.
Now
I've done that one twice.
That show was unhinged in the first seaon, and then someone at Fox was like, "All right, you guys need to like chill it out."
Really bad.
Yeah, because that show was a little wild. The other thing was, so like I was at Eglin Air Force Base. My accident happened, which is in Florida, which is just north of Destin, Florida. My wife and kids, they live in Cairo, Georgia, which is about 3 hours away.
So the Air Force sent you to beautiful Florida.
Hey man, 13 years in the Florida. Air Force. I've been stationed in Destin, Florida, Montgomery, Alabama, and Valdosta, Georgia. That's it. I've been in a 150-mile radius for 13 years. They didn't send me anywhere. I joined the Big Blue to see the world, and didn't leave the Southeast.
They took you to Florida.
I've been sweating for 13 years. I just sweat all the time. It's just fucking hot all the time. Like I'm sitting outside for the first, like this week, it's October, first week of October. I'm finally able to sit outside on my patio. Because it's not suffocating. And all it took was a giant hurricane to come through here to chill it out.
Yeah, I spent a couple months down in Georgia back in '86.
Oh, and, I wasn't born yet, so you all fucked. Yeah. But
that's okay, boy. I knew your mom. So anyway,
she was in high school.
She was a lovely lady, just a lovely lady. So giving. But
so like
I didn't want to tell you, but this is the only way I can reach out to you and actually talk to you without, How are you, son? How are you?
Well, my dad's also from Wisconsin, where you're not from, but you're where the Wisconsin.
Where I'm not from.
Yeah.
I'm about 2 hours south.
Yeah, so southern Wisconsin. Got it. Because if it's not Chicago, no one gives a shit about Illinois. They don't.
That's a fucking fact.
Like if you ask someone to name a town outside of Chicago in Illinois, most people probably could not.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing.
Joliet, because there's the
biggest city in Illinois, and nobody knows what the fuck Rockford is. Like nobody. Well,
I do because of
Natasha Leggero.
No, because the Rockford Peaches.
Oh, Rockford Peaches, right?
A League of Their Own
and Cheap Trick.
I have a Rockford Peaches jersey actually, but
do you really?
Yeah. Anytime I'm going to a ball game where the Brewers aren't playing, I'll wear it instead of a Brewers jersey.
Wait a second. You're a Brewers fan?
Yeah, my dad's from Wisconsin. I grew up being a Brewers fan.
Okay, yeah, well, okay, all right, yeah, that makes sense.
Going to Miller Park. I mean, back in 2001. Yeah.
Speaking of that, my wife and I, we always go down to Peoria every year, and this is
a third city in Illinois. Nice.
A third city. That's a third city. That's an Illinois city for the Irish Fest, and I'm Scottish. Boom. And my wife's Irish, and so like I put on the kilt. I rock it out, And so for 2 years in a row, we go down to Irish Fest down in Peoria. She goes, this year it's our 20th anniversary. She goes, let's go to Milwaukee and do the nation's biggest Irish Fest. And I'm like, fuck yes, this sounds great, right up my alley. So I'm like, I go up there, and I'm all got my new kilt. Fucking rocking it, and I'm looking around, and guess what you cannot get in Milwaukee during Irish Fest?
A beer?
Guinness. You can't get a fucking Guinness. There's no Guinness. There's no Harps. There's no Smittix. They only had like one whiskey, and that was Jameson. And the biggest fucking Irish Fest in the world, you got Miller fucking Light.
Because it's made by... You have to have the Anheuser or whatever.
By Miller.
Yeah, you have to have the Miller brand.
Yeah, I'm surprised it's hard to find the name of that brewery. You went with Anheuser.
Well, because I'm pretty sure they used to.
You even said Miller Stadium. Like,
well, You know, so in '82 they played the Cardinals in the World Series, and it was called the Sud Series
Mm,
because the two brewing towns.
right, right.
I don't
That's a
know
good
who
name.
owns who anymore. You know, they all the beers own each other. It doesn't make any. Like I say, you know, down here, this might not be a real story. I don't know. This is what I've always told.
It may not be. This is something I thought of, maybe.
This might be true.
All
So
right.
we in my family,
Interesting.
we have always called Michelob Ultra Lesbian Ultra.
I'm drinking lesbian ultra gold.
Right, because go to a softball game and tell me there's not a bunch of lesbian ultras. But the story I was told was that the first Pride Fest way back in the '80s was in Atlanta, and they none of the beer companies would sell to them because it was the '80s, and there a lot of companies were anti-gay, but Michelob did, and it became
Yeah,
lesbian ultra. I have no idea if that's true, but I have told it to many people.
I don't either. But all I know would be like, hey, there's something different about that guy drinking an ultra over there. Like can't put
And
my
I know
finger
I've
on
said
it.
it to it. I've called it
Or
lesbian ultra to enough
in it.
lesbians that they were like,
I did not know that. You've enlightened me. Now
"Stop."
I knew. Now here's what some friends of mine did for me. They subscribed me to a magazine called The Advocate.
Oh yeah,
And yeah, and I used to get like Playboy in the mail and stuff. Like this is like pre-internet
yeah,
kind of
because
shit.
you're old.
And
Got it.
so, it comes in a paper cover. So like I grab it out of the mailbox and I go upstairs and I'm sitting in the bathroom. I'm going through my magazine. I'm looking at it, and then I'm starting to see kind of a series of things, a genre, if you will. It's like, yeah, there's Elton John, hey, there's George Michael, and then I open it up and there's a Bud Light commercial, and it's a 6-pack of Bud Light, and somebody's pulling a Bud Light out of it, and it goes, another one coming out.
Well, that's a great ad. I don't care. That's a great ad.
It was a great, yeah. Like Kid Rock would have lost his fucking mind. So anyway,
Hey, Shane Gillis is like the straightest comedian there is, and he drinks Bud Light, so I don't care.
yeah. No, I was good, but I turn around, I look at the front of it, and like for gay and lesbian, I'm like, okay, here it is.
That's a good prank. And they've got
It
some
was
good
a good
writers.
break.
over
Yeah,
there.
they signed me up for a year. Like, yeah, I
Good.
had 12 issues. I started bringing it into work because I was telling them about it.
Yeah, I think they're more of like a serious actual newspaper now, though. But probably back then they were maybe.
Yeah, it was just like a magazine, like a regular entertainment magazine, basically, is what it was.
Yeah,
But it had a lot of LBGTQ. Before that wasn't even. They didn't even say that back then. It was
you just read it for the stories,
and,
right?
Yeah, exactly. What's that?
You just read it for the stories. You're like Rube Baker. You read.
Yes, I read it for the stories. Yeah, and Brandon, what's his name from 90210 was on the cover, and he was standing in an awkward position. So I thought that was kind of a.
Is he the one that passed away?
No, Priestley, Jason Priestley.
Oh,
Jason Priestley.
I thought you were saying the character's name. Okay, so that's.
I did. I accidentally said Brandon because I thought it was. And here I thought you only drink Scotch. No, I don't. Just I'm drinking Patty's right now. This is an Irish whiskey, which you couldn't get that up there at fucking Milwaukee Fest either. God damn it. So
I tried to be a whiskey guy, and then I realized I just wasn't made out for it. So my last name being Schober, I'll tell you a story. We're on a story podcast. My last name being Schober, and I didn't drink for years. Yeah. So people would call me Sober Schober. That was like the joke. Well, my best friend was getting married, so we go to Biloxi to gamble and drink with a bunch of our friends. And I said, all right, this is the first night of our trip. Fuck it. I'm not Sober Schober tonight. I'm getting fucked up. So I drank a fifth.
So this is after you've been sober for how long?
Most of my life. I mean, I've never really drank. It's just.
Oh, really? So you had a beer?
No, that would have been the good way to do it. I drank a fifth of Captain Black before we left the hotel. We get to the casino.
Jesus.
And I start doing Four Horsemen shots.
How many?
4 Horsemen shots.
I don't know what the Horseman shot is.
So that's Jose, Jack, It's like the 4 big like guy named liquors as a shot.
Okay, so you had Jack, Jim,
Yeah, Jose, and I can't remember what the other one.
Okay,
Right. So the 4 horsemen as a shot,
Bacardi.
and I did more of those than I can remember. And because we were losing a lot of money, they just kept handing me beers. Well, so the next morning, I what my friends called made reptar noises, just puking everything up. And then a buddy of mine's like, "Hey, we should go to Waffle House so you can get some toast and eggs, I guess."
Right.
That was a terrible fucking decision.
That's a bad idea. Bad idea. Well, in his defense, you really didn't have a good idea after it anyway. Even if you drank water, wasn't a good idea. You're going to taste your toenails anyhow. That was going to happen.
It was very loud.
Yeah.
And then I decided, I don't know why, but my hangover food was going to be a box of Reese Puffs and Surge.
Surge.
Yeah. And this isn't like the 90s. This is a couple of years ago. I'm walking through a Walmart in Biloxi and I find Surge. And I'm like, well, I'm fucking getting that. So
yeah, fuck yeah, I am.
So my friends walk out. Yeah. We're on like the 13th floor overlooking the Gulf. And they walk out and I'm sitting on this balcony with my box of fucking Reese Puffs and my case of Surge. And they're like, what the fuck happened to Sober Schober last night? And so like that's been like now that's a thing. And then I didn't buy any milk, right?
Right.
And so a buddy of
mine, raw dogging it.
Yeah, which is fine.
Raw dogging it out of the box,
which is fine. But a buddy of mine was like, "I want some of that cereal. Did you buy milk?" I was like, "No." And he's like, "Well, I've got some whiskey." So he poured a bowl with cereal and Tennessee honey whiskey and ate the whole bowl.
No.
The whole bowl. And so then my brother...
Everything in me just rejected what you said. Like, everything in me just spat that back out. Like,
And then my brother, who is black, I don't know if I ever told you that, I have 4 black brothers. I'm the only white one, which is how you become a comedian. You know, you have interracial humor in your family at all times. And he had bottled a big ass bottle of peach Ciroc because of course he did.
Did you know I once slept with 2 girls named Rachel, and that made me biracial? I don't know. It works on stage, fucker. Okay, it kills on stage.
The Dan LeBatard show has a penalty for ruining comedy. It's a 2-minute minor. And that would be a 2-minute minor penalty right there. You should be in the
all right. I also slept with 2 girls named Chandra, and that was a double on Chandra.
I don't believe you've slept with 4 girls total.
No, but I got a lot of blowjobs. So,
but I mean, you know, that was probably the last time I was drunk. We did go to Talladega a couple years ago and we tried to repeat it, but we were all older, so it wasn't near as fun.
Yeah, you get older, those kind of things just don't happen.
It's just hot. I'm just hot all the time now.
Right.
And now that I'm retired, man, my wife made me. My wife
I like actually the way you say you're retired.
I'm retired. No, I'm officially retired. I'm retired.
You're fucking crippled. Like
I'm a retired disabled vet. You know,
right,
I get to park wherever the fuck I want.
You call it whatever you want to call it, Jesse.
So here's what I say on stage. So, you know, my whole career, I've been an average looking white comedian. Never had a shtick. Well, now I have a cripple card. That's pretty fucking good.
Now
like you can park where you want. Like it's almost good as a black card. And like in Florida, they've got DeSantis, right? No, in Florida they have DeSantis, and pretty soon they're getting rid of their month. So, like, I'm moving up in the world, is what I'm saying.
You moved up to disabled.
Woo! Yeah, disabled. I'm a protected class.
Look at that! It's hot in my studio. Can you see that shit?
Jesus, you're gross. I'm a protected class now, so I can. When people ask me what I do, I can say, "Oh, I'm retired." You know,
I'm retired.
I don't have to say I got in a car accident because I'm fat. I can just I I have a service-related disability. That's what I can say.
Do not break off a piece of the Kit Kat card when
I can't. You know,
when you're driving.
the brain's
They
a
never
weird thing,
They
man.
never tell you about the rules of the road that you can't
No.
break off a piece of the Kit Kat bar on the road.
Well, you know, it's funny when they were doing the investigation. They were like, "Was he texting and driving? What, you know, was he distracted?" Like they were doing all these things.
No, that would
I
have been
was not.
acceptable.
I
That
was
would have
not
been
texting
acceptable.
and driving. Right.
Yes, that would have been something that was. I was a dumbass. I was texting.
I wasn't
What
drinking.
happened?
Nothing. I
I
was
dropped
leaving
my
work.
Kit Kat.
I dropped my Kit Kat.
You don't even drink. Fuck.
I know, and
Your advice was a Kit Kat bar. You got disabled for the lamest fucking reason ever. Like,
I don't know. It couldn't even been like a Reese's cup. It was like the Reese's Cup's bastard brother. You know, it was like
how much did you have, sir? Well, I broke off that one piece, and then I don't remember much after that.
I can't even. And you know, it's like I said, I have no memory of the accident, but how brains work is weird. I can't smell a Kit Kat without getting nauseous. Like I can't eat. I can't be around them. I have this weird memory sensory thing. It's so strange.
All right,
So
this is what we call classic conditioning by Pavlov. Okay, so
my brain's teaching me to stay away
I don't
from.
know. You might be more of a Skinnerist. I don't know. You know,
I know those names. I did take Psych 101, so I do know those names.
You're a victim of your surroundings, of the influences around you, or Pavlovian. Obviously, Pavlovian. Ring a bell and I'll salivate.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I was stationed in Florida, so there were other fat people there. So
there were other fat people there. Yeah. Jesus.
Yeah.
Like let's not talk about fat people in Florida when we talk about fat people Midwest. All right. Like
it's a different breed. I mean, they're definitely cousins.
Do you guys have a pizza ranch where you are?
No, that's the fattest shit I've ever heard.
It's a buffet. It's a buffet.
No, but we do have a lot of restaurants in our gas stations, though.
And we watched the lady. We watched the lady like pull out her insulin and fucking like in between rounds of the buffet, fucking hit it, and like a trooper, she went right fucking back in, man.
I respect it. Hey, I'm borderline skinny fat. Like you can't really tell I'm fat, but like we have crystals down here. Up there, you have White Castle.
Yeah, you have crystals. I remember the crystals, and I remember the fucking sweet tea. What the fuck are you putting sugar in your tea for, you evil cocksuckers?
We put a lot of sugar in our sweet tea.
A lot of sugar. Yeah, it wasn't even like a taste. It was like fucking, I could pour this on my fucking pancakes. Like, it was like.
Yeah, that's true. I've never even had hot tea. It's sweet tea is the only way I've ever really had it. Someone asked me one day.
That is garbage water.
Okay, calm down, Ted Lasso. But
He did say that, didn't he?
Yeah. Yeah, I was at a restaurant today and someone ordered Earl Grey tea and I was like, like, what kind of tea would you like? I was like, sweet? What do you mean? Earl Grey. Get out of here.
Like, what restaurant carries Earl Grey?
It was actually a brewery, which is hilarious.
Is that a brewery?
Yeah.
Yes. I believe I'll have the Earl Grey.
What's funny is
show me where y'all fucking found that on the menu, please?
I had coffee at the brewery.
I don't see the Earl Grey.
And I'll lend you on a secret about this brewery. They make this coffee called the Saturday Morning Cartoon. And what they do is they make a big vat of cereal milk, like whatever cereal of the week is. So this week it was Fruity Pebbles. And then they strain the cereal out, and then they make an espresso drink out of it.
Oh, no kidding.
So fucking good.
That sounds delicious. That absolutely sounds
amazing
great.
idea.
How are you? That sounds amazing.
Yeah. So I had that at a brewery this morning, which is where my company holds our meetings at a brewery. So.
Oh, I was gonna say, like you don't drink, but you're at the brewery.
Yeah. I tend to find myself in places where I can be of a help, I guess, as a TD. Yeah. Yeah. So as long as there's not Kit Kats in, I'm a pretty safe driver.
Oh jeez, I can't believe you wrecked off a Kit Kat. Like you're.
Well, I mean you're like
I was in the Air Force, man. I'm disabled. Oh, did you get some shrapnel? No. was you in the shit? No. Well,
I mean,
what happened?
yeah.
I
I
dropped
was
a
in the
Kit
shit.
Kat while driving.
I went underneath an
I'm
F-250.
retired.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm retired because of a Kit Kat. And you know, what's funny about that is like I have no memory of this. The only way
What's
we
great
know
is
this.
talking to another comedian and just absolutely loving and laughing your misery. I think this is.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Yeah. So you know that it's been good for my comedy career though. You know,
Yeah.
a lot of cripple material out there,
A lot of
and
crippled material.
you know, and you know my kids are getting old enough where I can start making fun of them more. My daughter's 11 and she just went to her first dance tonight, which was
Nice.
very awkward for me. So there's more material that's building, and now I'm 33, but I'm retired, so I'm an old man, so I can do old man jokes and just complain about like, you know, my water bill and shit, I guess.
Yeah, all the time. I do that. My daughter's now 17, and I remember when I could start first messing with her. And and start joking with her and stuff like that. And it's just the best, watching their brain like do a backflip. Like, what did dad just say to me?
She's actually pretty cool. We last weekend we went to Columbus, Georgia, and watched a WWE show together. We took the whole family. That's what we did for the weekend. And
see, Charlie was about that age too. I have a friend that actually owns a wrestling organization that's around here.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, one of the first things that like just daddy and daughter did, like when she got a little bit older, is I'm like, come on. She's like, where are we going? I'm like, you're just coming. And we're standing in the line, and everybody around me, I'm like, don't tell her what we're doing, and everything. And then she had like the best time. There was this wrestler, and he's been excommunicated basically. His name was Joey Ryan.
Okay.
And I don't know if you ever seen this guy. There's like, if you go on YouTube and you put in Joey Ryan, like he used to do this dick flip.
Okay.
Like this guy like grabbed him by the crotch, and then he went like that, and it acted like he like grabbed his hand. He's like, ah, and then he swung his hip, and this guy like flipped over, and
that's the most indie wrestling thing I've ever heard.
Yeah, and it turned out like this guy's kind of like that. Like he used to take a lollipop out of his pants and shove it in people's mouth. Like Charlie's like, what?
You want to know how I'm in South Georgia? I'm spraying mosquito spray on myself right now because
you do that up here, man. They carry you away up here too. Jesus, yeah. But she actually got an autographed picture of Joey Ryan.
The other thing besides mosquitoes here, I think I've told you about.
Yeah, you don't breathe it in, Jesse. You don't breathe it in. It's
well, I learned about inhaling from Clinton, but that's an old joke.
I'm not mad at him.
No, I think we're not gonna go there. But I told you about my fear of spiders in previous episodes.
Yes. Actually, if you would like to regale us. You know what? I normally only go 45 minutes now, but that's off the table. So the
spider story of all the stories I've told you, want me to tell the spider story?
No. The first one, my dear, lovely friend Cindy's watching. So I would prefer the spider over the condom.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, you know what? No, go with the condom.
You want me to do the condom joke before I leave? Okay. So
no, don't leave. Like I said, this is I'm gonna go over the time that I usually allow. This is gonna go over.
Okay, well, I'm running out of battery, so you get the condom joke, and then I'm leaving.
All right.
So I've been with my wife for 16 years now. We met when we were 17 and 15. So
and I'd like to tell everybody, I'm the first person that made his wife laugh, even though he's been a comedian.
Well, actually, she does stand up now too. We travel together doing comedy.
Does she?
She's been doing it for about 2 years now.
Why has she not been on?
I didn't know you were still doing the podcast. I just told you this. I didn't know you were on.
Yeah, like I got
Mosaic Kentucky
next
TV.
Tuesday. If she's free next Tuesday, have her come on.
I would let. I was gonna have her on night with me, but she went because she remembers things I don't remember anymore. But she went to the dance with my daughter. She's a chaperone.
Oh,
But
okay. Let's set her up for next Wednesday or
okay,
next Tuesday.
so I will do. So all right. So the condom joke. So the first time I put on a condom to try to have sex, I did
Hold on,
not
Cindy.
know. I did not know how to put on a condom because I got sex education in the South. My sex education was taught by my baseball coach. Okay. And so the first time I went to put on the condom, I didn't roll it down all the way. It was just sitting on the top like a little hat.
It was
And
backwards.
I was like, whoa, I'm too fucking big for a condom. Um, so I went and bought a Magnum condom and learned what a big dick's supposed to look like. Um, so I put it on and it looked like a snake molted on my dick. It was just like I looked like I was pulling handkerchiefs out of my urethra like a magician. It kept going and kept going, and I wanted
It just kept going. It's like a Kleenex box. It just kept going. And
foot by the
going.
foot is what it was. Yeah, fruit by the foot. I didn't, and I wanted to be safe, right? So I fixed it.
Way to go to my elbow.
Yeah, it looked like I was getting ready for surgery. So I go in the bathroom to fix it, and I come out, and I was proud. I was proud of what I accomplished. And she does this number, and she goes, "Do you tie that shit in a knot?" Like, it's a beautiful knot. I looped, swooped, pulled, and everything. All right. And that joke gets a lot weirder once you start teaching your kids how to tie their shoes.
And this is where Jay and I started hitting you with, was it a square knot? And then I hit it with, God, I hope it wasn't a slip knot. And that's when your wife.
It was the bunny loops, bunny through the hole. So.
And if you got time to do the spider, I'd love to hear the spider.
We're on 1%. You're out. Maybe next week I will tell it with my wife because she was there with me with the spider.
All right. Jesse Schwarber, thank you so much for coming back on. It's always a pleasure, dude. I wish we hung out closer together. You're just one of the. I love you. I love having you on. You're so funny and you're so nice and you're so. You're just a great guy. You're just a great guy. And everybody, promote yourself real quick.
Just, I guess, Instagram, Jesse Schober. Find me on there, and that's where I post my shows and stuff.
All right. So his battery's about to die. Love this guy. Check him out. Jesse Schwarber. He's a comedian. He's fantastic. You're going to love him. I love him. And if you want to find me, you can find me at myworstholiday.com or at My Worst Holiday Podcast on YouTube. That's the easiest way to follow me. Mosaic TV, baby. If you have a Roku device, if you have an Amazon Fire Stick, if you have an Android device, look up Mosaic TV. You can see Jesse. You can see me. And from a room next to my bathroom in my basement, this has been My Worst Holiday. Hang on for a second, Jesse. Good night, everybody. Love yous.